Have you ever done a bit of like, I don't know, investigating online on people to, I don't know, find out a bit more information and stuff?
What, like investigating random people?
Like people that you know, or like, for example, okay, sometimes if a girl's talking to a new guy, she might like,
Oh,
or
God.
if a girl like thinks a guy is cheating on her or talking to another girl, she'll do all this investigating and she'll find loads of stuff. Have you ever done anything like that?
No, because I'm not sad,
Okay,
if I'm being honest.
right, okay. So if a girl thinks her man's cheating on her and she tries to do a bit of snooping to try and find out if he's cheating, is that sad?
Not that in particular, but the kind of thing you're talking about. I had a conversation with somebody about this the other day, and I was like, I was literally said to her, get a fucking life. Like, you don't even know the guy. You're taking baggage from your previous relationship, and now you're just going to throw it on him. Like, okay, like you want to look into him a little bit, but you're going to these extreme lengths to like get into old Facebook profiles. And I was like, do something, like find something better to do with your time.
Well, look, I agree with you in that context. And this video is not actually about that. But I just wanted to know if you've ever done it to see to what extent you have, how much information you have found out. Because I think what a lot of people don't realize is it's very, very, very scary how much people can find about a person online. The safety of things. And also, you don't know who's out there, who's looking at your stuff, what kind of stalkers you might get, etc. And I think people need to be a bit more careful with how much they post, what they post and things like that, because people can find out a lot of stuff out there. Like, even me, I found out a lot of stuff before. I'm not going to say what, but I've like...
What, on who?
I'm not going to talk about it on
not
here.
me.
No.
I was going to say, what did I do?
Like, back in the day and everything, like when... I was younger, I found out certain things about certain people. And you don't realise how the smallest bit of anything you post online can help people find you. Didn't we do a video one time where somebody like was commenting on somebody else's TikTok videos of abuse, and then they kept piecing things together till they eventually found out who that person was?
Yeah.
Right, I came across this video.
While you're looking for that video, let me take back slightly what I said. It's not that I think you're sad or a weirdo, because I think if you meet someone online, it probably is good to do a little investigating.
Yeah.
But the kind of thing you were talking about is the conversation I think that you were talking about is the conversation I was having the other day. I was talking to this girl and she was telling me about this guy. And maybe it's because I haven't dated in a while and I've kind of come off the dating scene. But I've had it done to me before, where people have been going through like my old YouTube videos and then ask me, what did you mean when you said this? And I'm just, as soon as someone starts doing that, I'm like, please piss off. Like I don't want to hear this nonsense. If you don't want to just get to know each other now, then we can talk and I can tell you. I'm not afraid. My videos are still up. I'm not hiding away from anything. But those sort of people, I'm like, you're going to cause me problems. You're bringing some sort of baggage into this I'm not willing to deal with.
Yeah, like, you know, when people find out someone's nan's, brother's, cousin's, dog's, you know what I mean? It's like, anyway, it's a bit, like, I mean, I ain't got time for all that stuff. But I mean, when you need to find something out, you will find it out. But just watch this video and then we'll discuss it after, and I'll give you my honest opinion.
Yeah.
But it's a scary world out there.
Guys, guess where I am? Shut up, I'm in a hotel.
That's not nearly specific enough. In order to figure out precisely which hotel you were staying at, first I obviously had to figure out exactly where you were. I was able to determine that by noticing that in between the two videos you recorded inside the hotel room, you had posted this video where you met Jason Momoa. And this video was dated December 12th. Going over to Jason Momoa's Instagram around the same time frame, I can tell that he was in London advertising the release of his new movie. He also posted this video where you ate at a Pizza Express immediately afterwards, which is a very popular pizza chain in London. Now, given that you ordered room service, I figured that we were looking at 5-star hotels in London. However, unfortunately for me, there are quite a few 5-star hotels throughout London. You might not believe it, but it was actually the room service itself that ended up giving your location away, specifically the plates. Looking for images with this spiral pattern that appears at the edge of the plates and focusing on 5-star hotels in London led me to the JW Marriott Grosvenor House in London. And looking at images of the food served at Grosvenor House, I was able to see the same plates that you show in your video. This might seem a silly thing to focus on, but even other Marriotts in London did not share these plates, just the Grosvenor House. Now, to figure out what kind of room you were staying in, we can take a look at the solid headboard behind you. And the only room with a single bed that has that that same black headboard is the superior room, guest room, king. You can of course get additional confirmation by noticing that this outlet strip on the wall, you can find an exact match of in rooms that have the exact same headboard as you do. And if you're still not convinced, you can notice that this painting over here is right next to you in your second video. Also notice that in your Instagram post of the video, you wrote hashtag JW Grosvenor House. So...
They did all of that and she kind of gave it up anyway.
Yeah. Now, if she didn't put that in her caption, he, as a stranger who doesn't know her, done research and managed to navigate where she is. Now, this girl, I've seen her before. She's like an influencer online, right? Most influencers or even people these days, they post when they're at their locations. They don't wait till they've left, and they post things like that. And if you're that popular and have a lot of followers, there could be any kinds of stalkers who could do that type of thing and show up at where you are. You know, you've got to be careful. And what I didn't like about this video was he's now just taken her, granted you're putting yourself online, anything can happen with your footage, but he's taken that video and just exposed all of that, using her as his guinea pig for a video for his content. And it's just kind of like, I found it quite unfair of him to do that.
Why?
Because you've literally just gone and just exposed the girl, essentially.
I mean, if
But
you can do that, how many
creepy.
people can do that?
That's the point. It's very, very scary as to what people can find out with the smallest bits of detail and information.
Yeah, I don't post where I am. I post afterwards. So once I've left the venue, or like when I went to Gran Canaria, I started posting them when I was in London, and they were like, "Oh, you're on holiday," and I was like, "No, I'm in London." I know people are crazy like this, so this is not a surprise to me. I know that people
It's not
do
a
these
surprise,
things.
yeah.
Are those the lengths that you're talking about that girls go to do some investigating? Like if you saw your man post a video of himself in a hotel and he said, "I'm in the Marriott or whatever," but you're like, "It doesn't quite look like that."
Yeah.
Did you do that?
Yeah. You'd be surprised at the amount of stuff I found online, because people don't realize that just you can find stuff. But yeah, I have gone through great lengths before and found what I was looking for. And I just think it's scary how much and what you can find out. It's like social media is this CCTV now that you can, like, people's moves are being tracked anywhere. You can find people, and it's very scary and very dangerous in my opinion. And I saw that video and I was just like, wow, he really went for it and he really got to the bottom of the answer.
Thing is, yeah, is that there are people that are way smarter than him as well that do these things, and I didn't know this. I didn't know this until like maybe a couple of. Well, actually, I kind of had an idea. I just didn't realize how bad it was. How many people go missing every day? And people have no idea. Like, you know, you will hear someone's gone missing, and it will be like the talk of the town. But those are just the ones that you hear. It's like, I was shocked. I was watching some videos doing a deep dive into kidnappings and people that disappear, and the amount of people that disappear in just London on a monthly basis is insane. Never heard from again. No news coverage, no police follow-ups, nothing. Bodies never found. And yeah, social media has made it very, very easy for pedophiles and people that want to hurt you and people that want to rob you to find you, because people are so concerned with being like, look, I'm in this nice place, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was at an event yesterday, and unfortunately, because I was at the event, I can't really stop people from like taking pictures of me or like appearing in a picture. But I saw people taking pictures and then tagging their location instantly. I was like, we are in a very, very small place with a lot of people that other people might want to do harm to because they've got big names or whatever. And I was looking at them, I was like, these people are so desperate for clout that they're willing to put themselves in harm's way just to say, I was here and now. Can't you just post it tomorrow when you're not there, nowhere near the venue? But it's not until it happens to you or happens to somebody that you love that you're like, oh, I shouldn't do that.
Do you know what I was thinking the other day? Most people, when they post, they're only posting stuff that they want to show off about or make other people see and get jealous of, which is why people are always putting their best foot forward. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, if people went on holiday or something, they want to make sure that they're posting and showing that they're okay. I don't know how to explain this point.
You're trying to show people the best version of yourself, so that
Yeah,
they're like,
that's-
oh, this person's the shit.
That's standard, but it's just kind of like, why is everyone want to make themselves out to be something they're not, or show off? Like, who are they trying to impress?
They're pissed.
Do they have deeper insecurities? Like Instagram, especially, is just a place where no one is being true to themselves because everyone just wants to show off about this big lavish life they have. But for what reason? Like,
there's a
we're
clear
all normal
reason.
people, because you know what it is? Everyone is watching everyone else online and feeling sad because they're not living the same sort of life, but neither is that person. And it's just a breeding ground for depression because everyone's watching everyone else do these things that they're not doing, and they're normal people that they know. But these people that are doing it are only making sure they're posting certain things to make it seem a certain way. I don't know how to explain it, but the thought came to me and I was just like, wow, like this is just...
It's clout chasing. It's creating a false identity. It's like when you see those people posting pictures of themselves saying, I'm on first class, and they're just on a regular flight.
Yeah.
You get those, like, I understand there's two sides to it, because social media is a business. Attention is our currency, right? And like, obviously we want attention as well. That's why we post YouTube videos. We want people to come and watch our videos. But there's ways that people go about it that seem a bit more genuine, and there's ways that people go about it that seem a bit more fake. Like when I did a lot of event work. So I used to travel around the country doing loads of different events. And I found that when I'd be in these places with these like mid-level celebrities to like high profile people, they would do this thing, right? Let's say that Sabi's a celebrity, I'm a celebrity. They'll grab the celebrity, right? They'll bring them in. They'll be like, and they'll be there laughing in the video. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And they'll put the video down. These two people won't even talk to each other.
Yeah.
One will walk off in that direction. The other one will be looking at their shoulder like, why did this bitch touch me? And it's just like, I understand, because attention's currency, and people come into your videos. If you've got somebody big featuring it, people might be, oh, I'll follow this person. And so you garner interest and money through that. But to me, it's too mentally consuming for me to put my arm around somebody for clout to then go about my day. I'd rather, like, there's a lot of, I won't lie to you guys, there's a lot of cool things that I've gotten to do this year and last year that I will never post about. You'll never see it on my Instagram. I'm not going to mention who I'd been speaking to, whether it's celebrity or not. Like, I mean, I got to hang out with a well-known fighter, and I could have posted about it. I could have like gone on and on about it, but I don't want people to know. I don't want people to be like, oh, Michael knows this guy, and I know that through social media. Like, first of all, when I meet celebrities, ones that I'm interested in or want to talk to, I don't even ask them for pictures. I just want to talk to them. I just want to be there in the moment. So I'm never one to, like, on my gaming channel, I've always got people in the comments saying, oh, Mike knows this guy, Mike knows that guy. And I'm just like, yeah, I just talk to them on a level. Like, I'm not there clout chasing. I'm just being friends with them. But a lot of the social media types, they get lost in the source, and they forget that there's a whole world out there that they can be enjoying without the phone in their face.
I think that for me, I think the thought that I had was what people are doing on social media, the ones who show off, are actually trying to make other people depressed. They are the cause of it, because they're going out of their way to stunt online. And it's like the intention is there for people to look and go, oh my God, how do you live this lavish lifestyle? How do you have all this stuff and want to be like you? Like, every guy to fancy you, every girl to want to be like you. And I just think to myself, why do you care so much about other people looking and going, oh my God, that's so cool that you did that? Like, why do you care for that kind of reaction? Because that's not making any difference to your life.
Well, sometimes it does. Sometimes they are seen to be this person that they're not. So people put them on a pedestal. So they're offered more things, maybe like brand endorsements.
I'm not talking for business purposes here. I'm just talking solely just to show off.
Yeah, because then when you walk into the room, you're that person that's been to Ibiza and been to Brazil and been to Japan, and everyone's like, oh, tell me about this, that, and the other. And all the while, you're just sitting in some dinky hotel in Birmingham. Oftentimes, if it's the purpose to make other people depressed, I don't think a lot of them are doing that on purpose. But if it's the purpose to make other people depressed, the person behind the camera is usually the one that's depressed.
I think that everyone's just consumed by it. And honestly, like, I haven't been on social media for a while. and I have no desire for it. I have no desire to go back, and I thank the Lord that I'm not consumed by this. And then when I think about it or look at it, I'm like, yeah, like I hate this place. I hate this world that people are now living in, and I'm just like live in the moment. I don't need people to know what I'm eating, where I am, who I'm with, what I'm doing. Like, why do people need to know that? And I don't like the idea of everyone just, I don't know, it's just full up of loads of people just, like, I know I'm one of them people that takes pictures of myself and puts it online, yeah? Well, I used to be. And I used to do that. The sole reason I would do that, if I'm being honest here, was for attention. I would only ever upload the picture if I wanted attention. Maybe I wanted attention from a specific guy. Maybe I was feeling a bit low and wanted a bit of an ego boost.
Dopamine
it was
hit.
never because I liked the idea of thinking, I want to post a picture of myself online, because I actually find the concept of it weird. Like, I was driving the other day and I saw a woman standing in front of her car and her friend was taking pictures of her, and I just find it the concept of taking pictures of yourself just to post online weird now. That's why I haven't taken a picture of myself in a long time. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I think to myself, back in the day, this was never a thing. No, people wouldn't just be taking selfies of themselves in the mirror, all this stuff, and just posting it online. You'd always just take pictures for memories with your friends, with your family, with your kids, just as something to look back on and go, oh, we did this on this day and we had fun. Not, I'm taking a picture of myself to post online for people to like it, next day do the same thing. I just find it weird now. It's just I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm absolutely rambling right now.
We have two different trains of thought on this.
Yeah.
Social media has been extremely positive for me. Social media has not been a negative for me. I don't shy away from social media. I enjoy it. I acknowledge that it can be negative for people, but I honestly think it comes down to perspective and understanding what you're consuming. So we did a video in here a long time ago about Joe Rogan, and they did an episode on how TikTok is destroying young women, how it's targeting young women specifically, how it has filters that make women feel more beautiful when they look at themselves through the camera, and then when they actually see themselves, they disconnect. So I am aware that social media can be very dangerous. Personally, because I'm very aware of it, I'm very aware that when you see these guys online with their six packs, or when you see these girls with their ripped bodies and their big titties or whatever, it's normally been manipulated. And when it hasn't been manipulated, they are standing in the best possible position to take that picture. And I used to get, because I've got a lot of friends in the gym. We all try to stay fit. I used to look at pictures of these guys that girls would fawn over and be like, man, I don't look like these guys, no matter how hard I train. Sometimes I have abs, sometimes I don't. Why can't I look like these guys all the time? And I was just like, then as you put yourself online more, you attract more attention. Sometimes you bump into these guys, and I'm like, wow, you really don't look like what you do online, because none of us really do. And so social media has been very positive to me because I'm very aware of what I'm dealing with. So what I get a lot of people saying to me, I doom scroll on Instagram. Doom scrolling is like a big thing online where people are just scrolling and they're wasting time and hours. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like, I love scrolling through Instagram Reels. I'm sitting there laughing my head off at some of my memes, reposting them. So I'll send some to Sab. I sit there laughing at them, and I'm like, I'll go and do something else. I disconnect. Some people get so consumed by it, and I understand why they do. And I think there was a point maybe where I started to lose myself a little bit years and years ago, like in the very early days of TikTok, or maybe even before that. But now it has allowed me to connect with loads of people. It's allowed me to get my voice out there. I've made loads of friends through it. I think I use it positively. I think that it has helped me make a lot more money. It's helped me stay in contact with people that I wouldn't otherwise have been able to stay in contact with, even down to taking pictures and videos. I'm not one of those people, and I'm not saying I haven't done it before because there's selfies on my Instagram, but for a long time now, I take pictures on my Instagram are organically taken. They're organically taken. So if, like, I went out for Chinese New Year with my boys and one of their girlfriends and the Asian girls that were there, and we had a really nice time. Nobody was really taking pictures on their phone. And then at the end of the night, they were like, let's take a group picture. It was a really nice time. It'll be a good memory. and you post it up. So social media for me, I've used it in a very, very healthy way. I am not one of those people that is like, they need to disconnect from social media, because social media cannot affect me like that. It's sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'll have an abundance of messages on my phone, and you're one of the first people that I'll message. I'll say good morning to Sabi. I'll say good morning to my mum. And sometimes I don't like scrolling through to find people's names. Sometimes I'd like it so it's just my friends' names there. But the flip side of that is that there's people messaging me. I want to speak to me. It's nice it's nice for people to want to reach out to you. So rather than being like, oh, there's so many messages, and putting your phone down, I'm like, oh, there's so many messages. People have reached out to me. It's all about perspective. For me, social media is positive.
Yeah.
I think social media is damaging to those, and I don't mean this in a rude way, so nobody take it that way. But I think that if you already have some sort of issues in the real world and you turn to social media, it may amplify them and make them much worse. My issues in the real world are not translated to social media. I don't look for people's validation in that way. I'm not going to pretend like I don't look for some validation, because as YouTubers, we create content so people can watch it. So we're also looking for attention. But at the end of the day, I am not going to create a video that everybody else is creating for the sole purpose of getting attention. I'll create a video like what me and Sabi are doing now, where we're just having a chit chat, and it would be nice if people watched it. And if they don't, then they don't. I think it all comes down to mentality and how you weigh things up.
But just the whole notion of it, like taking a picture of yourself and editing it where it doesn't look like you. Yes, I've been guilty, but I've come a long way since those days, and I don't do it anymore. And I'm glad I've gotten to that point, because it's like you're taking a picture of yourself, editing it, putting it online where it doesn't look like you. There's no memory or anything behind it. So essentially it's just pointless, because when you get older and you look back at pictures, you're looking back at an edited version of yourself, or you haven't really got stuff to show your kids. And for me, yeah, that's what I posted on social media, but I explained the reason why. And that's why I'd never post any of my other personal pictures of what I actually have of memories, because that's personal to me. No one else needs to see it. And I've still got that stuff that I'm cherishing and can look back on. But I was guilty of getting consumed by social media, and maybe that's why I look at it different. And I hate it. I like TikTok though. TikTok for me is just a bit more. A lot of normal, funny people on there.
Normal on TikTok.
Yeah, like
that's where the degeneracy comes from.
Normal people on there, and some people are around this world are hilarious. Some people are so funny, and I love coming across their videos of just genuine people on a day-to-day, living their everyday life, that something funny happens and they share it. And I'm like, do you know what? Thank you for sharing that, because that had me belly laughing in bed by myself. That put a smile on my face when I was feeling a bit sad, because that was funny.
Do you know one thing that I've noticed about social media and women is... I don't mean this don't take this the wrong way.
I'm gonna, but anyway.
I'm gonna give you a compliment. I've noticed that a lot of my attractive friends, you included, girls that are like conventionally attractive or very beautiful looking, I've noticed that, I don't know if this is like down to the people that I know. So I'm not gonna name any names, but some of the girls that are less, let's just say less savory looking, they don't seem to have much of an issue of just throwing something online. But what I've noticed is that the girls that are regarded as like pretty or beautiful or whatever, girls that people put a lot of stake in their looks, to me, they have been more affected by social media than anyone, because people put so much value in their beauty that's what they start to, they boil themselves down to just being physically beautiful. And so then they end up editing their pictures because they're looking at other beautiful girls and they're like, well, I'm not as good looking as her, when really they're all attractive in their own way. And then it starts this vicious cycle where you look back on your pictures and you're like, that's not even me anymore. That is literally AI. And this AI shit's now here, which is going to make it even worse, because there's AI OnlyFans models that are making more money than actual OnlyFans models, which is crazy, because that means that guys are choosing robots over women. That's a whole other story. But I have noticed that girls that are deemed to be very beautiful looking end up editing their pictures quite heavily. And I used to say to one of my other friends, I'm not going to say her name because she'll get mad, but she's someone that gets a lot of attention. And she's a very bubbly, nice person, very, very beautiful looking. But my God, if you looked at her pictures, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm just like, yo, it's insane. Even with you, like, and even the boys group chat, like, they'll say, everyone has said to you, like, the way you look here is better than whatever you do.
No one said that in the group chat.
Yeah, they have.
No, they didn't.
They have. After they've roasted you a bit, they've said to you before, you don't need that shit. But what you see here is much better than what Sabi creates on her apps. I don't know who that is. Created. She doesn't do it anymore. But I think that it just all comes down to how people use social media and how they are in the real world. If you're having problems in the real world, if you're having self-esteem issues, yeah, if you go on social media and guys start looking at these models and whatever, and girls start looking at these models, yeah, it's gonna warp your mentality. But these people, they're also fake. You meet them in real life, they've got cellulite, they've got stretch marks. I even spoke to a guy today, and he was saying, I saw a picture, and it was complaining about the stretch marks on his shoulder. And he was like, oh, how do I get rid of this? And another guy commented saying, get the bitch out of you. And that's all it is. You have to get the bitch out of you. Those are not stretch marks, those are battle scars. That's how I look at them. You just got to change your perspective, and social media won't be that bad. But if you're doom scrolling and everything's doom and gloom, oh, I'm not as pretty as this person, yeah, social media is going to fucking destroy you. Yeah. It will own you. But yeah, that's my perspective on social media. So it can be a tool for good, and it can be a tool to destroy people. Anything you want to add?
No. We definitely need to get an hourglass, though, because you had a go at me. Michael had a go at me on the other video. If you haven't seen it yet, go and watch it. Am I the arsehole? About how I was talking for too long, I was talking too much, and he wanted to butt in. And this whole episode, he just kept on talking for long periods of time. And I did not stop you and say, you're talking too much.
Did you want to talk?
No, but that's regardless.
No, that's not regardless. No, it's not.
It is, and yeah, you see me.
Why didn't you just say?
Because you're talking, I'm not rude like you.
You didn't want to butt in, don't lie.
I'm not rude like you. Watch it back and you'll see.
In the other episode, I wanted to butt in and you were still talking.
Okay, but I was still talking.
Yeah, but we're having a back and forth. We weren't having a back and forth.
It doesn't matter.
No, it does.
We should both be able to talk fairly. So
you can.
So the same way I leave you to talk freely, you should leave me to talk freely.
Actually, you don't. 90% of Midnight Rubbish, you cut me up. Don't use today as the marker.
You should have cut me up when I was going on my tangent.
I did. You said, I'm not done.
Yeah, damn right. Know your place.
What do you mean, know my place?